Hello, my name is Matt Robin, and I am your neighbor.
I'm Gladys Gonzalez, and I'm your neighbor.
Hi, this is Paul Nickerson. I'm your neighbor.
My name is TK Perez, and I am your neighbor.
Today we're going to visit with Maria Rivera. Maria is best known for her role in The Homestretch, a documentary that chronicles homeless teens in the city of Chicago.
When I was a kid and you had to go to the free lunch line, like kids that paid for lunch went in one line and free lunch went in the other line. Right. And they got real food and we got crap. We were totally separated, and that was just being poor, not homeless.
She is a school teacher on the West Side, also a teacher at 826, which is a not-for-profit here in Chicago that focuses on literacy and tutoring for young kids.
826 might be my happiest place in the city of Chicago. I feel like the best things I do in my life happen kind of around this place, or ideas I got from here.
Maria is also involved in Shakespeare Theater on the Lake at Navy Pier, where students and teachers join forces to put together productions. But I met her originally 20-some years ago at The Closet in Chicago on Broadway. She was one of the locals. We all had our own bard stools with our names engraved on them. And we didn't speak for about 15 years. Got reconnected with you again, and I was stunned to see you on the big screen.
The Homestretch started, I would take kids that were my students in CPS to a program at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater called CPS Shakes, and you would take teachers who were insane, would commit to basically like a 5-week, 6-week program where every day after school, 4 days a week, and then all day Saturdays, you would take a select number of kids, whomever you could cram in your car, and you were going to put on a full-scale production in 1 month.
Oh my God.
They would costume the kids. We had to be in, teachers had to be in it. I had one student in particular, Rocky, whose parents were very busy with a lot of things going on in their lives, so he became one of the students I chose, and he was just a natural, like a ridiculous natural. But working with Rocky, I was like, this kid is just amazing. And in school, he just was horrible. Rocky would come into class like 45 minutes late of a 50-minute period in socks and like with a churro and a cup of coffee. And he would pretend that he didn't understand English. And so Rocky's life circumstances got a little bit harder. He needed somewhere to go. We offered him a place and he took it. His parents always knew where he was.
Right.
But our story centers around him and the challenges he faces, not only with his family and immigration, but then he's staying with us.
Miss Rivera introduced me to Shakespeare, which was like life-changing for me. The acting gave me like the opportunities to show them that I was like more than a bad kid.
What's he doing now?
He's in and out of college. He is always working. He's being an adult. STLS is Students in Temporary Living Situations, is what we use in the city of Chicago. And so that's kids that could be what we say like couch surfing. It could be somebody that is living in a homeless shelter. They might be actually without a place to stay, period. When you say homeless, you automatically like shut down the conversation. And temporary living situations seems to help open it up for some more people. Pretty quickly a kid will just tell you what's up. Because they get so desperate for what they need. They want to learn. They want to be in school. It's run on goodwill. Everything is run on goodwill. And I feel like that's kind of been like the theme of my life. At the right time, in the right place, I always met the right person to do this tiny small thing
That you needed.
that I needed so much I probably wouldn't have went on without it. It is not enough to be not a racist or not homophobic or not be against poor people. You have to be anti, right? So I am anti those things. And if you are for them, I am against you. I went through a period of like, okay, I understand how you feel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that serves this much because those people still keep acting against you. But if you come out and, you know, what you're doing is wrong. Acting against this is wrong. Here are the reasons why. You can still disagree with me, but I'm gonna sustain that you're wrong. And I will find other people who want this to happen, who want these kids to succeed, who want this program to get more money, who want, you know, whatever the case may be. And I've always found enough people to keep any idea afloat. And not even, but kind of like more than that.
That gives me chills.
You can't be so understanding that you accommodate what's wrong.
What can someone sitting at home that's watching this show that's not brave enough? They're not brave like you. What can they do that is the one first small step to make a difference in the world?
The best thing to do is to first make a decision in yourself, right? Like that I do have an action, because inaction is an action, right? You not doing anything is you making a choice. Doing anything is an action, no matter how small. So getting up and looking in the mirror and smiling is an action. Telling somebody how great they are is a small action. Right. Support the places that support your thinking, support children. You can't go wrong supporting children. Give your money to 826 and your money goes straight into
826, right?
Period. As you are a young person that doesn't have much or many opportunities, there are a lot of people out there that are really vampire-y and willing to take advantage of you. And then you find organizations like this that are like, oh, we'll plug in all those holes for you and just help you do what's good for you and what will be empowering to you and what will show the world what you have to offer. That in itself, I think, is a huge gift. Our culture has a really bad habit of blaming and holding children accountable for the mistakes of adults, and I just cannot live with that as a human being.
Well, teach them how do you keep an upbeat personality.
I find my classes are really enjoyable, and it's easy for me to stay like that because very quickly kids tune into that and they want to be that. They don't want to feel like they don't have options.
Right.
They don't want to feel like they have to be like their families. I like finding ways to make it not that.
How do you differentiate yourself as a teacher so that you're the one that the kids open up to?
Don't play down to kids, like I'll wait for them to come up and meet me, and they always do. They always do. I think really quickly it is my job to disarm any person. Mm-hmm. Like you can't get anything done if people are on guard. And you can't be on guard. Should you know who I am? Should you know how I grew up? Yes. I don't want you to have any feelings that I think I'm better than you or coming from a different place. I have the kids do a lot of personal writing. And it might start with something like a story I tell them, like, how would you finish the story? Mm-hmm. And so then I can start to see, how they're mapping through a problem. I think storytelling is the backbone of everything good. And so if you can tell a good story, you can win anybody. Science backs me up and says that in the next few years it will be the most marketable skill in any profession. Yes. That's why places like 826 or Chicago Shakespeare Theater that pull kids in specifically to tell their stories and turn them into something viable, those are the places I'm drawn to work with.
But there's always going to be those people that are not on board, that are trying to bring you down, or at least they're not with you, they're against you, sort of thing.
Really.
Like that's crazy to have someone stay in your house you don't know, or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you handle that approach of people that are not positive to what you do with your life? Because you live a very unique life.
What you have to do is reorganize your thinking, and I can try to get you to at least kind of see my point and work with us, or at least get out of the way, please. I am Maria Rivera, and I am your neighbor.
Next time on I'm Your Neighbor, we'll meet with critically acclaimed author Bill Brashler, who leads us through his journey of what it's like to take a 20-year hiatus from writing to interact with people, only to once again settle back into the isolation chair to pen a new story.